Hey, in this demonstration, I'm going to introduce you to the LEGO EV3 robot. A couple things I want to go over. And the very first thing is how to turn it on. So how to turn this robot on is there's a series of buttons here. This is called the brick of the robot. And we have an up, down, left, right, and an enter button, which is located in the center. We also have one more button that's located right here, and that is the back button, okay? That takes you back on the screen display, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. To turn this robot on, you have to enter the center button right here. You'll notice that the light turns red, indicating that it is powering up. So this robot needs to boot up just like any other computer would. And it takes, about 30 seconds or so to boot up. And when it does, you will hear a noise that it makes, like a little beep. And you will also see this red light turn green. And that would indicate that the robot is then ready to turn on. So, there it is right there. And now the lights turn green and I am ready to use the robot. So the next thing I want to talk about is how to find your programs that you've downloaded to your robot. I'll get to that in a later demonstration on how to hook this up to Bluetooth using your Chromebooks and the software. But for now, I want to show you how to navigate the screen. And in order to do that, you're going to have to use two buttons here. And you'll notice that on this display, there's a series of tabs. The first one has a play button, the next one has a file folder. You want to be where the file folder is. So if I use the right button to move over, you'll notice that there's a series of folders there. The very first one shows something that says moves and turns. So in order to get into that folder, I have to, go up or down to the folder you want, hit the enter button on the folder, and go down to the file with the play button next to it, and that would be the program. Had I named the program something other than moves and turns, that's what would show up here on this file tab. So you go to your file, you hit enter, then you move down to the play version of your file. And that, next time I would hit this enter button, it would run that program. So it's important to know that when you hit that play button, you're going to want to make sure that your robot is in the starting position to run that program. Make sure that it's at the starting point for whatever challenge you're currently on. Okay, so that's how you would run the program. The next thing I would like to discuss is how to delete programs, because the programs, even though you downloaded them from your Chromebook, they stay on the robot until they're deleted. So it's important to delete the files before you leave so that the next group that comes in doesn't use your program files. So in order to delete a program file, again, I'll start here, and you'll want to go over to the File tab. You'll want to hit Enter on the folder with the name of the program that you've created. And instead of moving down to play the program, you're going to hit Enter again right on the File folder. You'll notice that an option shows up with a little garbage can. You will then move over to the garbage can, hit enter again. It will ask you another time, are you sure you want to delete it? You move over again to the check mark, hit enter, and that program is now deleted, okay? So that's how you find your programs, run your programs, and delete your programs. The next thing is there are certain things that you do not want to do, because this robot is an expensive piece of equipment, and we want to make sure we take good care of it and let it last. So in order to do that, there's a couple of things that I definitely do never want to see you doing. And one of those is running the program on an open tabletop. So a lot of the challenge boards that we see in the classroom that we're going to be using have borders on them. And those borders protect the robot from falling off the edge. That's why it's important. The only places you ever want to run the robot are in a challenge board with guards around the perimeter or on the floor where it can't fall any further. So never run the robot on an open tabletop. The next thing is never spin the wheels of the robot. It's not a Matchbox car, and therefore spinning the wheels while it's not running can potentially strip the gears on the inside of the motors. You never want to do that. Okay? Another thing is if it's running and not doing what you had anticipated, you'll want to stop the program from running. How do you stop the program from running? You pick up the robot and you use this back button here, top left corner, the one that the pen is pointing to, and that will stop any program from currently running. So in case of an emergency or something, it's running up against the wall of the guard on the challenge board, and you want to pick this up and press this button right here, and that will stop the program from running. The reason being, as you can easily strip the gears in the motor when it's running up against the surface and the wheels are being forced to spin while the robot is being prevented from moving forward. Okay. And the last thing I want to show you is how to turn the robot off. In order to turn the robot off, you simply hit the back button once, twice, and then you'll see this icon show up where there's a power icon in the window, and you have to move over to the check mark by using the right button and then hit enter again. You will hear a noise and the light will change and it will start powering down. Ready? It will then take about 30 seconds or so to power down, and you'll hear another noise once it completely shuts off. And that is the first demo. In the next demonstration, I will be showing you how to connect to the Bluetooth on the Chromebooks and also introduce you to the software.